Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Krahak Dash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shah, trying to put the spiritual book in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Spanish, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up on what's going on around the world, mainly in America, Babylon, and Great, but it's videos of stuff that's going on around the world when it comes to the economy and the plagues and the lockdowns and shit, food shortages and all that shit. Anyway, it pretty much plays from Yahweh Shema Shah. Anyway, I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripture my best ability, say whatever God say through spirit and power, Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Kurhak Padash. Lord willing be on me. Let's get it.
Well, Europe's economy is under severe stress amid rising fuel costs. EU's largest economy, Germany, has revised down its growth forecasts as the Iran war begins to ripple through an already struggling global industry hub. The government now expects a growth of 0.5% this year, down from 1%, while the 2027 outlook has also been lowered to 0.9%. According to the economy minister, the conflict has pushed up energy and raw material prices, setting back not just Germany but economies across the world.
Meine Damen und Herren, ich darf zusammenfassen.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me summarize. The German economy is on a modest recovery path, but the headwinds have grown stronger. The war in the West Asia has led to an energy price shock that we could not prevent, but which is placing a real burden on people and the economy.
Konnten, der die Menschen und die Wirtschaft aber real belastet.
The immediate impact is being felt through energy markets. Surging oil and gas prices are increasing costs for business and households, forcing the government to revise its inflation outlook upward. Situation is being worsened by disruptions in key supply routes, with around 75% of Europe's jet fuel coming from the Gulf. Supply risks are intensifying, raising serious shortage concerns in the coming weeks. Estimates suggest more than $500 million in daily fuel costs.
On oil, it's a little bit different.
Even in the best case scenario, we might experience security of supply problems on jet fuel, maybe later, even also on diesel. We're not there yet, but this can happen. We already see airlines starting to reduce their demand by closing down different routes, so that's unfortunate. The worst case scenario, of course, it's difficult to even define. But if this goes on for many months or even years, we're looking at a totally new world order and probably very...
Yeah, it's gonna be a totally new world order involving that chip implant to market the beast.
Very severe.
That's why, hey man, seek you. How about Shema Shah? We about to get wild and dangerous and crazy and violent, and it's gonna get crazy out here pretty much.
Economic consequences that goes far beyond only the energy sector, of course.
Supply problems on jet fuel.
For Germany, the impact goes beyond energy. Its export-driven economic model is already facing multiple challenges. This includes geopolitical tensions, protectionist trade measures, and rising competition from China. With every passing day adding more disruptions to the global supply chains, Europe's largest economy is bracing for a prolonged period of slower growth.
Es ist eine nüchterne Botschaft.
There is a sobering message behind the calls for reform. Without swift and decisive reforms, our country lacks the foundation to ensure future growth and prosperity. We can only pass on to citizens the relief that has been generated previously, and so there is no way around structural reforms.
Was vorher erwirtschaftet wurde.
It's worked out in China. If you come to China, I'll show you around. We have AI surveillance. We have AI digital currency and digital ID, and it's worked out well in China. But the Chinese people are a different breed. The American people love freedom, they love liberty, and I think that the Americans would rather fight than surrender their liberty.
Shit. Well, we seen what happened in the first the first lockdown. We just got to fight. We got to beat the curve. We just do. I don't know how did they say it, and I didn't give a shit really. It's like I don't know, but the shit. Anyway, these people are fucking doomed. You dumbass Americans. I love it. I don't give a. But hey, man, if you see what's going on, consider yourself blessed, and you ain't falling for the bullshit.
Do you
They ain't no. I mean, shit. Anyway, let me let the video play.
Put any credence? So
what I'm trying to say, there ain't gonna be no revolution with these motherfuckers. Hell, everybody's so fucking divided. Man, there ain't gonna be no revolution. There's gonna be a bunch of people that are gonna be raising hell and shit with government and such. But it ain't gonna be like all Americans gonna be joined together, fight. Man, shit gonna be an absolute free for all. It's gonna be a fucking a blood fest or whatever you wanna call it. Here gonna be like Super Bash Brothers. Motherfuckers gonna be beating the shit out of each other because of lack of bread, and that's one of the reasons why they're gonna be going after one another.
there's a lot of theories out there that COVID was a depopulation agenda because the international bankers and the WEF types,
I don't know about COVID. More like the vaccine shot was a depopulation agenda. Well, the time of COVID, but the vaccine shots did the most killing.
realize that they can't sustain the aging populations, and so they did this vax, which has it's completely toxic, and it has negative efficacy, and they had to rig all the numbers in the systems. Like, for instance, if you died within 14 days of getting your vax, they considered you unvaccinated, even though there could be a correlation between you dying from the vax. So they had to do all that. So do you put any credence into that theory that there is this kind of, because it was a global phenomenon that it wasn't just the United States, it was everywhere except for maybe Africa. So do you think that there's any credence to that idea that the people in control, really the handful of billionaires that run the world, really did want a depopulation agenda?
If that were their plan, I'd be very impressed. I don't think they're that smart, and I don't think they're that strategic. I think that COVID happened because the baby boomer...
Yeah, more like the people were just fucking stupid falling in line for this shit. That's why it made it easy for them to get what they got, and they got it done.
are really afraid of germs. And that's why you have these...
Ultimately, the Lord guide these people to get them vaccine shots and,
these global lockdowns, because the baby boomers insisted on everyone staying at home. So the nation that best responded to COVID was Sweden, because the epidemiologist in Sweden said that you can't stop a virus. It's impossible. So
he said the word Sweden. And what do they know to have? Microchip implants, the citizens. They're going cashless. Yeah, you didn't hear much about them having a COVID epidemic going on because they were already microchip. This what it's all leading to, the chip implants. I ain't saying the chip implants kept them COVID safe. No, it's just that it's all about the chip implants. That's it. They weren't studying no damn saying Sweden have a outbreak of COVID. No, they weren't studying all that shit because they already have the chip implants. All these countries in the world. Why is Sweden wasn't even strict when it comes to their COVID lockdowns and shit? They didn't even have a COVID lockdown because they had chip implants. Everything is leading to the mark of the beast, the chip implants. Anyway, back to the video.
So we're not going to disrupt the economy. We're not going to disrupt schooling, but we will protect our vulnerable people, which includes people with...
Yeah, whatever. It was about them damn chip implants, and that's why they never had no damn, because they like, all it is just an on and off switch. They'll put on the fear on your ass when it comes to them all that. Anyway, it all leads to them chip implants. Anyway.
Diseases, which includes the elderly population.
Which is basically the Barrington Declaration.
Basically. And it worked very well for Sweden. Their economy was not as impacted as the rest of the world. But having gone away with the COVID lockdowns, we can expect that the elite will use this strategy again if the crisis were to emerge, right? So they're not strategic, but they're opportunistic. They don't think ahead, but they see the benefits of certain strategies. So if this war were to continue, we can imagine lockdowns because of the energy crisis.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So that's why they'll be able to... people have already talked about it, that there's going to be energy lockdowns and that they're going to have surveillance, and they're going to let you know how much energy you're allowed to use. And once you exceed that, they're going to cut you off. They're going to stop your car. They're going to stop all that kind. And do you see that happening?
Yes, it's all part of the plan, right?
To bring them chip implants. And cut the power off, cut the food supply out, make it a living hell for all you citizens all around the world, not just in America, but all around the world. And the only way you're going to get what you want, if you need it that bad, it's like food, shelter, safety, electricity, somewhere a warm bed and all that shit. Let's get the chip implants. We'll have a safe, what do you call it, safe city or smart city. Yeah, you'll be in a smart city. You take the chip, you get food, you get fed, you get a warm bed, shelter, clothes, and safety. Yay, until the missiles come.
Calls for a technocracy. What is technocracy?
The nuclear warheads come. Your ass will be backstroking in a lake of fire.
Government ruled by AI. That's why America's building all these data centers, even though they cost a lot of money. They don't really actually turn any profit, right? So if you're a company like OpenAI, like the more subscribers you have, the more money you lose, because it actually costs you more money to have subscribers than you can generate profit for them. But you have Operation Stargate in place, $500 billion to build data centers all across America. So why would they do that? And the answer is the technocracy. The answer is you eventually...
The chip implant, the mark of the beast.
You're moving towards an empire. You need to create an AI surveillance state. Digital currency.
The chip implant. Come on, man. He ain't gonna say it, but he know damn well that he, you know.
See, digital ID. And it helps you do a national draft. It helps you control the people. It helps you
Yeah.
ration, energy, and food.
Least Satan should get an evangelist, for we're not ignorant of his devices. It's so fucking simple. It's so simple that all the stuff that's happening is leading to that chip implant, the mark of the beast. Not no fucking cell phone, digital ID on a cell phone. No. Shit. I mean, that's gonna, they could play that for a short period of time, but soon this devil gonna be like, fuck it. Get the chip. Or we gonna kill you, throw you in prison, all that shit. We're gonna implant your ass. If you don't take it, you die. Go in prison. Or you just, you know. That's what it's leading to.
And so how there do you see a way to turn this around, or is this already?
No, well, there's a way to get through it, and that's Yahweh Shema Shah. Seeking Yahweh Shema Shah, repent and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with him, and yeah, that's the only way, but not for a heathen. Only for an Israelite, if you're feeling this. The elect of Israel, really.
This is in the cards because history dictates, and they've. Is there? I mean, could there be a charismatic leader who turns this around for the United? But they would just kill him, right?
Yeah.
No, it's only the Lord. There's not gonna be no glory from no man on earth that's gonna. Now the Lord will lift up a standard of men that's to be the prophets that's teaching. But there's really no man on earth that's going to be glorified as a hero. Only going to be a divine heroic man that's going to come from the heavens with great glory and power. And his name is Yahweh Shah, through the power of his father Yahweh, my father Yahweh, yeah. But it's Yahweh Shah. Yeah, and it ain't no that, and who the word, and they call Jebus. But no, his name ain't Jebus, Yahweh Shah. And that, hey, man. Anyway, let me get back to the video.
So I don't think this plan will work out because the empire is in decline. They're desperate, right? So they want a national draft. They want a AI control grid. This is all part of their plan. But the people in charge aren't that bright, and they're not that effective. And I think this all.
Yeah, you can clearly see they're real sloppy right now. Really, it's like, hey, they're not really that smart. Let's get to that. And that smart, that wisdom, the Lord took away from their ass. They're not smart like they used to be. Jeremiah, or the people just ain't as stupid like they used to be. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 7. Concerning Edom, thou said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Yeah, it has.
Open their face, because I think the American people are much more resilient, much more creative than they believe. It's worked out in China. If you come to China, I'll show you around. We have AI surveillance. We have AI digital currency and digital ID, and it's worked out well in China. But the Chinese people are different.
Yeah, but a lot of them folks are homeless. They ain't working out well for them niggas, because them niggas don't want to play. They just ain't playing well with the system. No. Now they homeless, living out on the streets.
Weed. American people love freedom. They love liberty, and I think that American.
But they ain't gonna get that shit soon to come. Shit, kiss that freedom goodbye, especially for you dummy Israelites, you dummies.
Rather fight than surrender their liberty.
But hey, that's right. They gonna come to that sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Let me get to that to show you what book that is, because it's coming to that point with division. Matter of fact, let me get it to this one, because let's get to this one. Let me start with 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. Yeah. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They ain't gonna care about their rulers, the lawmakers or the law enforcers. They ain't gonna care. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. A martial law roadblocks. Yeah, it's going down. Is that Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2? And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, the Americans versus the American. Well, yeah, it could be a lower level American to a higher up American. And they shall and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Let's get back to the video.
And so now I'm hearing you say another, so there is a chance that the American people, because we do value our freedom, although you couldn't tell, half the country.
These niggas gonna fight for freedom till the missiles come. And they all gonna be losers.
Certainly didn't during COVID. They were willing to accept every single restriction on their freedom, and including fascist Nazi-like impositions of forcing people to take experimental medical treatments. So you think that the answer to this lies in the mass of people coming together?
So yeah, the COVID lockdowns were bad in America, but they were nowhere near as bad as that in China or Canada, right? In Canada, there were the trucker protests. And these were just people who wanted a meeting with Justin Trudeau because they had questions.
All right, that's enough of this. Anyway, you want to watch the rest of the video, they'll go to the title of the video, they'll go to the channel. Let's get to the next one. More about electricity or power grid or whatever. It's gonna play. This shit's still buffering, really?
Would you be concerned to learn that experts are currently warning us that our power grid could give out this coming spring and summer? Do you know that our system is currently at risk of being overused, and it's not being updated as quickly as many people were expecting? That's just the start of the problems. According to experts, they say extreme conditions could actually make this problem worse and push us over the edge, meaning you do not get any electricity to turn your AC on. You can't charge your phone, can't charge your electric car, and you are stuck at home. That's what we're being told as of today. Look at this. It says Texas power supply margin squeezed until grid expansion kicks in.
Grid expansion? Whatever. Those niggas ain't about to spend no money on shit in America no more. Fuck no.
No, is that it is taking far too long.
Maybe on the New World Order grid department area side, but not for the citizens and shit.
For some of these utility companies to expand our power grid. And data centers are taking up a good amount of our utilities. The electricity that we use, they're going to data centers. I want to show you something. Look at this. It says
since they says that, let me there's another video. Might as well get that shit. America's revoke over data centers. Might as well play that too. But I guess it's gonna be another long one. Another long video.
Grid tipping point. The Pacific Northwest faces rolling blackouts by 2026 as energy gap widens. The amount of energy that we need versus the amount of energy that we can produce, it keeps widening. That is an issue. That is a huge, huge problem. And especially here in the Pacific Northwest, where we use a lot of dams to produce our water, or to produce our electricity, here's the issue. We have a very limited amount of water. Our snowpack was record low. It is abysmal. That is only going to make matters worse. But look at this. It's not just in Texas. It's not just here in the Pacific Northwest. It's in New York as well. Look at this. It says dark days loom for New Yorkers as climate law promises blackouts and cost hikes. We are now seeing that they are telling us to be prepared because it is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The blackouts will happen. Think about a couple of things for a second. Okay, I want to read a few things to you. First off, okay, your utility bill is going to go up. It's going to go through the roof. But here's the other issue. We need it to go up because, and a lot of people don't realize this, but one of the things that you're paying for when you pay for your utility bill, for your electric bill, is you are paying for not just the usage that you currently use, but you're also paying for the utility company to come out, update the transformers, the power lines, the power poles. You're paying for their increases, their wage increases, additional trucks, and everything else in between. Well, guess what? This war in the Middle East is causing some issues for our supply chain because we do not have the materials needed to go and update our power grid. Now, this has been a problem for years, not just for the past several weeks, but this war in Iran only makes matters worse. I want to show you something though. Okay, look at this right here. These right here, these are portable solar generators or power stations. Now, you can see I actually purchased this one back in December of 2024. Again, these are things I highly recommend. I'm not just telling you this, okay, to go and buy something that you don't need. I have several of these. Okay, here's one from Jackery right here. Okay, this one is $739. Again, you know, it's a good.
I walked away. I didn't even know he would start selling power generators.
One, okay, 1500 watt.
Hey,
okay,
I mean, here you go. But you don't buy that damn brand. There's many others you can explore. I ain't gonna tell you what you should buy, but you gotta figure it out yourself.
you can see it with the 200
These motherfuckers are overpriced and overrated.
watt solar panel right there. But then this one's a 300 watt, 60 watt solar panel. So again, depending on what you're using it for, okay, if you were trying to run an AC, you're gonna want this one. But if you're trying,
What? You ain't gonna run no AC with that motherfucker. I mean, people be thinking, I can hook this up to my whole house. It could no, the fuck you can't. You can't hook that shit up to no whole house. And you can hook it up to an AC unit, yeah, and you won't have much time on that bitch, depending on wattage. AC unit, like probably a wall AC unit, one of those portable AC units you hook up that's on wheels and shit. The whole unit be inside your room, but you got the little air duct to put it into the window. That thing, something like that, that's like 1,000 watts. Or let's say about 700 or 800 watts running continuously. And that shit ain't gonna last long on this thing. Gonna be like shit, probably make an hour maybe 1 hour of cooling, and that's it. Operation, that's it.
trying to charge your phone, right? If that's what you're trying.
This ain't gonna do shit with no damn, like, really nothing. This right here, the second one at $700, that's good to run your refrigerator or a freezer box, and that's about it.
Trying to do charge or
And charge some other things.
turn on a lamp, this one will work just fine. Okay, I'll put a link to this down
This ain't for no damn computer or no refrigerator. I mean, this is gonna run a computer, but not no refrigerator.
in the description box below, so you can go and check it out. But $188. It has 1,600 reviews on Amazon. It's a 4.3 star. The other one from Jackery, I'll show you it really quick again. This one has 1,100 reviews. It's a 4.6 star, but it's also $739. Okay, quite a bit more. So go.
And you can get something cheaper than that. I think it came with it's talking about yeah, it's got a solar panel. It's a combo panel and the whatchamacallit, but you don't necessarily have to buy this shit. You can buy like a regular typical panel for like $50 or $60. It's like 100 watts. But anyway, back to the video.
6 star, but it's also $739. Okay, quite a bit more. So go and get the cheaper option, because again, it works. Okay, I can vouch for it because again, I have several. I think I have two or three. Two or three. I don't remember exactly. But again, I bought these and they work. They're great. Okay, so if your utilities aren't working, your power goes out, it's a rolling blackout in the middle of the day, and you're just trying to charge your phone. Right? You're just trying to do something. You're bored. Want to turn a light on at night? These things will do it for you. Okay. I want to read a few other things. Look at this one right here. It says half of all new electricity demand in the U.S. last year came from data centers. It says just as the public opinion of them plummets. Okay. Well, I want to show you one other thing. Look at this right here. It says, how are utilities preparing for a historic El Nino? Remember when I said that experts are telling us that things are getting worse? They are going to be worse very soon. Well, this is what they're talking about, where we have increased demand due to our data centers. So our supply is much less than what it used to be. But then on top of that, now we have to deal with El Nino or potentially super El Nino. Look at this. I want to read it to you. It says the forecast from the NOAA pegs the odds at 61% for an El Nino emerging between May and July. Again, means it's going to be much hotter. With a 25% chance, it qualifies as very strong, pushing ocean temps 2 degrees Celsius above average in some regions. 2 degrees Celsius is like 20-some degree, 26 degrees or something like that. Okay, it's insane. That's going to be hotter by 26 degrees. This is ocean temps. Prepare, because again, we are going to experience a hotter summer. That's what experts are telling us, to prepare for it. You want to run a fan or an air conditioner? Yeah, you may need a solar power station. Okay, the solar part is only bringing in the sun to actually recharge the battery. You don't need it to run it, but you need it to recharge it. That's the difference. Okay, and most people don't realize this and haven't really understood it lately, is that here in the United States, we have a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues. Many of these utility companies are already telling us that they cannot update the power grid as quickly as needed because they don't have the workers, for one. They don't have the parts, number two. And number three, the regulation behind it. Again, a lot of issues here, and I don't see this improving over the next several years. I think this is only going to get worse, which means there's going to be more rolling blackouts. Prepare for that. Think about what happened this...
But most important, prepare by getting right with Yahweh Shema Shah to your best ability, praying and repenting. Yep.
past winter. Think about what happened just months ago over in the South, where places like Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee got hammered by cold weather, where trees froze. There was icy rain where the trees froze. They've got a buildup of ice on them. Branches started snapping. The power lines pretty much fell down. And people were without power for weeks. Remember that? Yeah. We could see that all over again, but instead of in the winter, it's going to happen in the summer. So, according to experts, they say, don't wait, start preparing right now, because these rolling blackouts will soon be normal here in the United States. So, yeah.
Yup. He was talking about data centers. Let's see what this video about. This talking about some data centers. People fed up and tired of this shit.
Let's talk about data centers. Got to talk about data centers. Always should be talking about data centers, which are rocking many places in the country, local politics, rocking all kinds of different. I mean, let's just put this element up on the screen. This is D1. This is a tear sheet from the Free Press, which had a wonderful piece of reporting. We got to give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
A wonderful piece of reporting into
it.
what happens when the headline is what happens when a data center comes to town. This is about a rural Ohio county where there's this 800-acre data center being planned that would produce, get this, Ryan, the massive total of 50 permanent jobs. I think it's like,
wow.
Typical,
that's all of these too, yeah.
Yep, of course. Typical, where they'll have about, I think it's like 1,200 construction jobs for the first phase, and quote, at least 50 permanent jobs once construction is complete. It will generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in greatly needed tax revenue. And one local man said he hasn't seen this. He's the county commissioner. Told the Free Press he hasn't seen this sort of local investment, quote, in my lifetime. It is a very poor county, but the piece reports not all the neighbors feel that way. After announcing plans for the data center in January, dozens crowded into the local courthouse. They're wondering how much water the data center will use. Will their power bills go up? What about the noise? We played a video last week on the show about someone recording just from their back deck the noise from a nearby data center. Absolutely insane. According to Google's own assessments, the Free Press reports each individual data center consumes anywhere from 10,000 to more than 1 billion gallons of water. But the reality is that nobody really knows what those numbers will look like for Franklin Furnace. So this is a Google data center. It would involve a 75% tax abatement, and they're again looking for 800 acres of land right by the river. You can see how this would get on people's bad side very quickly. Just in Wisconsin recently, I think it was Whitefish Bay, there was a referendum where voters came in and rejected. It was one of the first big referendums in the country where you saw local voters rejecting future data centers in a big vote. Breaking Points, we've been covering this for a long time. Dave Weigel has been covering this at Semaphore, but we can actually throw up on the screen here a New York Times. This is going to be D3. New York Times tear sheet. Job cuts driven by AI are rising on Wall Street. It's coming not just for rural Ohio, Ryan, but rapidly in some of the white-collar sectors as well. Let's move to D4. These are just two headlines from yesterday. AI. Meta to start capturing employee mouse movements, keystrokes for AI training data. So, big data centers going up all over the country, job cuts even on Wall Street, mouse tracking to train AI at Meta. Everybody's happy. Everyone's loving it.
And so if you're in this rural area where they want to take 800 of your acres along the river to install a whirring, water guzzling, energy guzzling data center.
With tax breaks that you don't get.
Tax breaks that you don't get for a couple bucks, for a couple jobs.
And tax revenue.
What on earth? And so maybe some tax. Okay, so I was gonna
hopefully
say,
some tax revenue.
What on earth would be the argument for doing that? The best argument, I guess, would be yes, tax revenue. You get, and you put that into schools, and okay, so that if you actually believe that was going to come forward, then okay, that's at least an argument for it. What I would say is that this is the place where the public has their leverage to strike some sort of grand bargain with AI, where it's like, okay, you want this and you need this from us. Mm-hmm. What do we get? Pitch us.
You get a microchip implant. I don't know. You'll live. How about that? You'll live. You'll be alive for the moment. I don't know. Anyway.
On how AI is going to bring
But you will get a microchip implant. They don't mind giving you that. They'll mind giving you that for free. Heck yeah.
It's a better world.
Right.
Like Grok being able to take the clothes off the 12-year-old isn't it?
Or to prosecute wars in the Middle East, which is the other thing.
Yeah, that's not it either. Like, what is the society that you're going to create?
It's going to be dystopian. Let me get to it. Michael chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is like they practice, because it is in the power of their hand. These wicked, evil niggas called Edomites, so-called white people, but they're the elite of Edomites. They plan on using AI to conquer the world, pretty much. Police the people, control everything. Yeah, you will own enough and be happy. Yeah. He saw him so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's red. He's a baby dick sucking Jewish faggot nigger. Amalek, the elite of Edom. This is what they want to do. And they cover fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And they going to oppress their own people, the lesser level devils, the lower level Edomites. Yeah, and Amalekites. Some of them going to be, even though they don't have special privileges, but but still they going to oppress the shit out of their own people. And what do they? Hey, if they oppress their own people, what do they think about you Israelites? Like nothing. Yep. Back to the video.
Better than the one we have now, in order for us to agree to do this with you. Mm-hmm. Because you can't do it without the land that people control. Mm-hmm. So that's the
people control the land.
And so there is this big movement that is fighting back against these data centers.
I get it talking about the citizens, the low-level citizens control the land. I'm like, please.
And it really does seem to be the only thing that humanity has against the creep of these robots.
It's one of the things I love about the story is that it focuses on the history of this particular place in Appalachian, Ohio, and how they have had the rug pulled out from under them during the last the last century of industrialization, where you had these plants. That is a chemical plant, so SunCoke Energy at one point. Quote, the plant makes up material called coke, critical for steel production, but a decade ago the plant was fined by the EPA for violating the Clean Air Act, and McDavid claims, one of the people in the story, residue from the plant still rains down on the houses and cars in the
pollution. This shows you this is not your rest, y'all.
Neighborhoods nearby, and just over and over again how you get economic opportunity, rug is pulled out from under you because the opportunity goes away, the jobs go overseas. I think there was a printing business in this area as well at one point. The story is fantastic. And then you get people who open plants like the SunCoke one, and it has like just dirt raining down on you, and you're promised over and over again, this is going to be a great investment, this is exactly what the community needs, and now they're asking for it again with something that's not even tangible. Right? It's one thing when you're like, okay, we are making this, we are making that, I can see it, I get it. Right now, you have, 35% of the S&P 500 is these Mag 7 companies. It feels like a total bubble, and nobody even, other than people who are, using...
Propped up by Gulf money.
Well, since that ad came up, let's move to the next one.
Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and everything that we've been talking about for so long is coming to fruition right now. The Great Reset agenda, the full scale of it, is being rolled out in real time, and we are living through a very historic period here as we see massive shortages. Wheat spread blows out as drought chaos plagues America's breadbasket. Of course, we've been talking about this as well as with the Strait of Hormuz and the DHL CEO warning of a prolonged energy shock that could push the global economy to a tipping point. Well, it's a good thing that they're rolling out perfectly, by the way, in the same exact time as this, the same time frame, and this has been planned for years, the new system of UBI, digital IDs, social credits, etc.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning gets light, they press because it is in the power of their hand. Yeah, they working they executing every damn plan that's on the to-do list and shit. And the final one be the chip implants, the mark of the beast.
In fact, the Canadian government has already been rolling out social credit for quite some time, as has the UK, as has the European Union, and of course with the United States, with their 5-year social media history mandate to enter the country. And Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, has something...
And, even though Canada bumping heads with America, but guess what? They planning on the New World Order plan, with the chip implants and all that shit.
Interesting to say about this.
New jobs will be created, but old jobs will be lost. And the question is, what happens to the people?
What the hell? Old jobs will be lost, but new jobs be created, and it probably will be less jobs created. But you got to get the chip implant to get these new jobs, right?
In those jobs, are they ready for the new jobs? How do you get them ready for the new jobs? And look, the lesson of previous industrial revolutions, and we are entering 2 industrial revolutions at the same time. This is
interesting, the digital system,
sustainable revolution and the AI revolution. The lesson of previous industrial revolutions is what happens is that you go through a long period with huge change of jobs and industries, and that workers are slow to benefit from the benefits of those new industries.
And we are going to go into further what he is saying here later on in the video, because it encapsulates exactly what Elon Musk is pushing at the same time as the exact same thing that the World Economic Forum is pushing. So no shock there. My friends, they are getting ready to force us into that ration-based system and give you ration-based foods, and it's up to you to
But in order to get that stuff, you got to have the implantable microchip, the mark of the beast.
reject, stand up, and get prepared today. So before we get into this, I urge people to get 25%
Yeah, by seeking Yahweh Shema Shah, that's how you get prepared and repent.
off. That it would be a good idea to America's breadbasket. We've seen the things that have been piling on to the already existing problem of the supply chain crisis. Again, they went after the farms. They went after the Dutch farms. They decided that it would be a good idea to get rid of 50% of the farms in the second top agricultural exporting country in the world, in the Netherlands. They've been well on their way to getting to achieving this goal as they're pushing the net zero agenda everywhere else, as they're going after farmers in Ireland and in France and in all these other places throughout the world, including in the United States. Yes, even under the Republican governments, there are severe restrictions that continue to hurt farmers. And
they keep talking about the breadbasket because, hey, it's basically they targeting food. They're targeting food so they can make your life a hell, a living hell, and building up more problems and more basically giving you people hell by fucking your finances up, getting you fired from your jobs, making food more expensive, all this other shit, just so they can so you got to be desperate and desperate enough to take a chip implant. You're willing to do anything just to survive in this shitty ass miserable world. That's why, hey man, it is wise for you to seek the Lord, man. It's a blessing to even get the names and know the names and build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah. Because even if you know the names, you might not be saved out of him. There might not be salvation. Shit. But you pray like heaven, the Lord give you salvation. Man, I'm just talking a lot. I mean, I can't help it. I gotta talk. I gotta say what I gotta say.
These tariffs and with these shortages and with the fertilizer shortage that we're seeing from the Strait of Hormuz right now, across the board, we're seeing not only just prices skyrocketing, which will continue to happen, that is just a basic economics 101, but we're seeing also the collapse of production, and also with the diesel shortages and everything, trucks lining up in many countries. Mandates already put in effect in many countries, including Australia and elsewhere, where they have limits on how much you can actually get. Now, this is back and forth, and of course with the rhetoric right now, oh, everything's okay. The market tries to correct itself in I would say extremely stupid way, because the correction of the market from going down to then up because Trump says something doesn't match the actual production, the actual shipments, the actual supply, which could cause an even bigger bubble, a bigger problem to explode. Of course, the United States has been in a recession since 2008. It's been papered over time. This idea that we are going into a recession is nonsense, because we already are in one. But what we're seeing...
No, correction, you're in a depression. Shit, the recession never existed. It's always been a depression.
Right now is it's really important to understand it's a manufacturer crisis to force people into the new system. In fact, we have Mark Carney, which we'll go into further later, saying that Canada's creating a new world order with China with this $1 trillion trade deal. China was just caught trying to ship weapons, according to the U.S., to Iran, which again is just all part of the scripted move to cause this false flag narrative to shift power from the west to the east, which has been in the playbook since the 1970s, when Henry Kissinger met with Mao and created this alliance with China to prop them up as a guinea pig state for technocracy and prop them up for trade. Of course, the Trilateral Commission was a major part of that. That was one of their main goals, is to prop up China as that guinea pig state. And then the COVID stuff happens. The Sesame Credit came out around 2012 to 2014 in China. Now they're doing it everywhere else. It's just basic 101 technocracy. Create a problem, get a reaction, come in with a solution. The solution causes more problems. It's a Hegelian dialectic. Now, what we're seeing also with this crisis is a move towards just BRICS countries in general, with, of course, Russia benefiting greatly from the oil situation, despite the United States acting like they are restricting Russia. It's very combative what the U.S. is doing with Russia and taking their tankers from Venezuela and then blaming it on Iran and saying, oh, the Hezbollah is in Iran, or is working with Iran in places like Margarita Island in Venezuela. They use this as a reason to then seize their oil. It's absolute nonsense. I've been talking to people from the island of Margarita in Venezuela. There are no Islamic people whatsoever there.
I don't know what the hell you talking about now. Let's get to the next one. Anyway, let's see what this is about. It's about food inflation.
this is a good transition to talk about what we already see in terms of the economic impacts of this war. Let's put C1 up on the screen. This is from Tracy Alloway of the Odd Lots podcast, fantastic podcast, great reporters. And she's got information here about food inflation. Costs for food companies jumped almost 8% year over year in March. That's versus 4.2% in February. This is basically just from higher fuel costs. We're still waiting for the impact of higher fertilizer, plastics, etc. So what she's saying there is this is just the beginning. This is just when you're considering, okay, gas prices and diesel prices have gone up. That's now being reflected in costs for food companies. And of course, they're not going to just take that. They're going to pass it on to consumers. But what she's saying is that doesn't even deal with these longer term impacts like fertilizer. The higher price of fertilizer is something that farmers are shouldering right now during planting season. That is going to mean that down the road, when those costs also get incorporated into food prices, prices are going to continue to go up. I don't feel that I even need to really explain this because we all basically lived through all of this through COVID. We saw the way that inflation built and built and built, and that this was not something that just happens when you flip a switch. There are follow-on effects that continue even after the worst parts of the crisis are finished that take a long time to work their way through the system. So what she's saying here is we are now just starting to really see the impacts and that this is just the beginning.
Yeah. I hate to, there was a lot of accusations of doomerism in the beginning, but it's because, and I think anybody who's been watching the show for long enough period, we all lived through Russia, Ukraine together. And just because things seem to be fine, they're really not. The entire global economy completely shifted. The energy markets dramatically changed. The amount of LNG, a reliance on Qatar became dramatic, and then we've gotten into a war with Iran, and now the Strait of Hormuz is closed. That's why we talk about, everybody seems to believe, let's say with COVID, we had the lockdowns that came in March. When did we really start to feel the supply shock? July? Maybe August? It took a while, right? Because we had just-in-time delivery, so there was this decent amount of stuff that was on hand. And then with closure and with the shipping containers and all of those supply chain problems, we began.
Another thing they ain't talking about at all. There's some other transport passages, or whatever you want to call it, something similar to waterway passages similar to the Straits of Hormuz. That's they're having some, like, I guess they're fighting over and such, want to try to have control over, that they're not mentioning on the news through media. You can look it up and find out that other shit yourself. Because that's all they talk about, the Strait of Hormuz. There was one, I think, in somewhere now around Vietnam, I believe, or Malaysia. I can't remember which country, but they got one that's over, I think, in Vietnam. And there's some conflict going on with that shit, but they ain't mentioning about it. They ain't gonna tell you all the shit that's going on. They're gonna just tell you one. It's conflict going on in this one location, one region, and that's it. Nowhere else. Just only here. Just focus over here, but don't focus on these other places. Anyway.
And to see shortages and problems in July and August, but the real-time inflation hit when the things started to reopen, demand was high, and the supply, it took, I would say, over a year, probably, from the lockdown for everything to show up. But because we lived through all of that, plus Russia, Ukraine, we have now seen the story play out multiple times. Like, you're not going to have things end overnight. However, there is a dramatic under-appreciation. Gas is still $4 a gallon. Gas was $2.90 6 weeks ago. Diesel's like $5.20-something a gallon. Like,
I don't know. Well, I know where I was at. Gas was like $2.30, $2.40, and diesel was like $3.40, $3.50, maybe less than that, $3.20 something. But shit. Anyway.
Am I taking crazy pills? Like, when have we ever seen gas go by over $1 in a single month and then stay there with no real end in sight, to the point where the president is, bemoaning his energy secretary for saying maybe gas will have a 3 in front of it next year, sometime from now.
Actually, that shit was even 1 month. It jumped up in 1 week. Once that shit was going down, hell, what happened? I think it was over the weekend. And during the weekday, boom, it shot up. First, gas was $2.40, and then gas jumped up to what was it? What was that shit? 3. What was it? 3 something? Yeah, about 3. Shit, 370, 380, 390. Shit, $4. Diesel, $5, $6.
Again, just looking at the straight. I could be wrong. I'm not an energy expert or analyst. I read some people who we trust a lot here on the show. All have basically said if the strait remains closed for this X amount period of time, gas will hit $6 a gallon. Gas will hit $5 a gallon. That seems very likely, absent some extreme intervention on behalf of the United States. I also just look to big corporations where this stuff, same thing. It's not going to immediately affect your life, but sometime in the future, you're going to be checking. In the way that I went to McDonald's recently and paid $4.50 for the medium fry, you're going to be like, wait, what? Whenever you try to check out. Let's go to the next one. Put this on the screen. The United Airlines CEO has now come out and say fares may need to rise by 20% to offset the fuel charge, jet fuel costs. Quote, signaling a significant test of consumer willingness to absorb higher fare as the industry grapples with volatile oil prices. This was on their earnings call. He said, United is aiming to recover the full increase in fuel costs as quickly as possible and expects to move toward a 100% pass-through. God, don't you love corporate speak? A 100% pass-through as it targets double-digit pre-tax margins next year. What does that mean? So again, corporate speak. Yields need to increase by 15 to 20% whenever it comes to... that means what? That means your ticket price is going to go up by 1/5.
Every cost increase for them, they're passing directly to you and potentially an increase above and beyond that. I mean, that's what we saw the last time there's a huge inflationary spike. Is that corporations, I can get away with raising my prices even beyond the cost of the increase in inputs. Of course I'm going to do that. And so that's why you have corporate profits as a share of the economy that continue to be at all-time highs, even as costs go up, because they've taken advantage of that dynamic. And of course they'll do the same thing.
Totally. And yeah, let's just do like back of the napkin. So most people take some small vacation in the summer statistically. And let's even put aside Europe. You're already upper middle class if you can afford to do that. Let's just say here in the US, you want to go to Disney. Oh, by the way, Disney prices are very high. Let's say you got to get to Disney. So let's say family of 4, it was going to cost you $600 person. If you're flying from California, whatever, Midwest, $500, something like that. Now it's $750 per person. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that's a lot of money, right? And so then you have the increased jet fuel cost. Oh, and then you need to do a rental car. Oh, well, the rental car cost has gone up too because of gas and because of increased insurance. And then, the Disney cost has also gone up because they have all this energy input and stuff that they have.
Man, I might well go ahead and get to it because I don't want to wait no longer. Hagar chapter 1 verse 6, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye have not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. So pretty much you work so much, work so hard for very little money to feed your face or your stomach or just feed you. And not enough for water, drinking, and bathing your butt with utilities, paying for the water to clean yourself off. And clothes, to buy some new clothes so you can, your old clothes got holes in it, but you still got to wear them ones with the holes in it. And you might not be able to afford to buy a sewing kit for them old clothes to patch them holes up. But anyway, also, you don't have enough to save your money. And you ain't going to be able to save your money up to go traveling because that's out the window. Especially, it's too damn dangerous to go traveling out of the country, especially. But anyway, when it comes to your funds, your money, you won't have enough for food, water, and shelter, and not enough to save. And that's not just in America, but that's worldwide. But I got a burp. Slacking. Add to the video.
I mean, this is craziness. And that's just vacation. That's the easiest thing.
And your budget's already been stretched at home because of increased gas prices and increased food prices, so things are tighter to begin with. Yeah, you're just going to say, we can't do it this year. We'll go somewhere local. We'll drive to the lake here.
Next year? There ain't going to be no next year.
Instead of
and even when you do drive, it's going to cost more. All right, so then let's put the next one up here. Lufthansa has now cut 20,000 flights to save fuel from the Iran war fallout. Quote, global jet fuel prices have now jumped 70%.
Yeah, I mean, shit. When you talk about man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able to, it's beyond that. It's going to be, you can't leave out the country. Oh, yeah. And they expecting this shit. Oh, yeah. And why the fuck people be like, oh, my God, the prices are so expensive. Shit, you shouldn't be traveling anyway in a time like this because anything can go down. These niggas are at war. This is World War III. And they can start, hey, you could be the next one on the list of being blown up or get caught up in a fucking false flag event. Either a plane blows up, Esau have it set up, the plane set up with bombs and shit, and blow your ass up. And you be on the 2 o'clock news as a tragedy event. It would pretty much be, pretty much. Yeah, that's why I'm like, man, fuck that shit.
To start pressuring airlines in Europe, the largest consumer of jet fuel.
Making it where it's not flying and just driving on the road. It's too expensive. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder.
Now shipped through the Strait of Hormuz. Lufthansa says it will cut 20,000 flights.
And I know there's some brothers and sisters that's flying because of the jobs they got and such. Yeah, you can't. But when you traveling just to go out and have fun, nigga, man, Get the fuck out of here. I mean, nothing wrong with having fun, but you got to get out of that spirit now. It's that time. You know, I don't like to take somebody's joy away, but man, you got to get out that spirit of fun. Especially all the time. All the time. It's always fun. Shit. And we're at a time of evil. Yeah, evil times.
Over the next 6 months to save jet fuel as the pressure builds on the company to address surging prices. The airline said Tuesday it had already announced which flights it had trimmed through May, so this is just in the next...
Let me stop right there because I got a whole lot of other videos to get into. Let's get to the next one. Now, here's some news about food. Man, Lord, breaking the staff of bread.
The ripple effect from the war with Iran is being felt in the farm fields of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Farm diesel prices have gone up 46% since the war began. The American Farm Bureau Federation says on top of that is the rising cost of fertilizer. New at 10, John Lordson met some farmers choosing to sit out this season because of growing expenses.
It's very dry. For April 20th, we have great field conditions, dry soils, the frost is out of the ground.
For Ryan Mockentune, getting off to a good start is key to getting good yields. Today, it's all about planting corn in McLeod County, despite challenges ranging from high fertilizer and fuel costs to trade wars and tariffs.
As a farmer, I'm optimistic that eventually we're going to have a market that will support farming.
It's a very high stress. Steve Zank shares Mockentune's optimism, but with a volatile market, the farm advocate is noticing...
Yeah, there's going to be a market that's going to support farming. All right, whatever.
A trend. More farmers leasing out their property instead of farming it themselves.
The neighbor will pay me $300 an acre, and I can just take the year off. I mean, yeah, it's a very particular set of criteria for you to be able to do that.
Zink says it's become an option for older farmers who've owned their land for decades and don't believe they can make a profit farming this year. Working with finances on a daily basis, Zink says it boils down to sheer numbers. Right now, he foresees some farmers spending up to $1,000 to plant an acre of corn, but getting a return of $800, a net loss. While that's not the case everywhere, Zink knows many Minnesota farms are struggling to make a profit.
I'm happy if I can get them to break even. We will get better at this, and we'll get through this. And we have many times before, and then things will get better again.
In McLeod County, John Lordson, WCCO News.
Yeah, we're gonna get through it, man. Well, the Lord said he got other plans.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Nermeen Sheikh. We turn now to the risks of a global food and hunger crisis if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed to shipments of fertilizer, oil, and natural gas. The Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO, warned last week that a prolonged crisis in the Strait could lead to a global food catastrophe due to rising oil prices and disruptions to the fertilizer supply chain. A top United Nations official echoed the FAO's warnings Wednesday, saying that the closure of the Strait was creating a crisis in the agricultural industry in Asia.
Let me stop right there. I want to I forgot to get a scripture on that last video I played, because that's in America. Let me get to this one. I'm a little late, but screw it. I'm going to say it. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. Talking about America, because the Lord plagued ancient Egypt. We had Egypt again, a place of bondage. Because the first Egypt, ancient Egypt, was a place of bondage. This one here, spiritual Egypt, America, is a place of bondage. And we are Egypt all over again. Spiritual Egypt, America. And I will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt, America, shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, talking about farmers, for their seed shall fail through the blasting in hell and hail, and with fearful consolation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So whatever America going through, the whole rest of the world gonna feel it too. Back to this video.
And Africa. According to the FAO, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Somalia, Sudan, Tanzania, Kenya, and Egypt are among the countries most at risk from the strait remaining closed. Jorge Moreira da Silva, Executive Director of the UN Office for Project Services, said the UN has established a task force focused on fertilizers and supplies of raw materials in order to prevent a humanitarian crisis.
The disruption of the Strait of Hormuz can push 45 million more people into hunger and starvation. So clearly we need to do something, and that's why it's so important that the UN is ready through this mechanism.
Before the war, 1/3 of the global fertilizer trade, as well as roughly 1/4 of crude oil and 1/5 of liquefied natural gas, passed through the Strait of Hormuz, but tanker traffic has essentially come to a standstill for nearly 2 months. For more, we're joined now by Adam Khanieh, who's been closely following this. His latest piece in the Financial Times is headlined "The Coming Global Food Crisis." Adam Khanieh is director of the SOAS Middle East Institute Institute at the University of London, and his most recent book is Crude Capitalism, Oil, Corporate Power, and the Making of the World Market. He joins us now from Shanghai, China. Professor Hanye, welcome back to Democracy Now! If you could just begin by laying out all the different factors leading to a possible global food crisis, the signs of which actually are evident already in several countries.
Thank you, Norman. Yes, the article argues that we need to move away from just considering the Gulf as oil and gas producers and actually think very carefully about the ways that they have diversified down the value chain into things like fertilizers. As you pointed out, about a third of the world's basic fertilizers now pass through the Strait of Hormuz. And in some of these chemicals like urea and ammonia, the Gulf monarchies stand as some of the world's largest producers. So the closure of the transport through the Strait of Hormuz has really strangled the global supply of these key fertilizer inputs. It's not just a question of supply shortages, of course. We're actually seeing price rises accompany this process as well. So we see supply shortages of fertilizers, price rises of fertilizers, as well, of course, price rises of basic energy, including gas and oil, which impact very deeply farmers and agricultural systems around the world. So this is, I think, as we've heard earlier, the Food and Agricultural Organization warning of the impact of this, and I think it is now that this real reality is actually becoming very clear.
Professor Hanye, the piece actually begins with laying out why it is that countries have become more dependent on the fossil fuel industry for the production of food. If you could explain what the Green Revolution did and how over the decades it's made fossil fuels so central to all kinds of agricultural production.
Yes, the Green Revolution was an enormous transformation to agricultural production that took place in the post-war period through the 1950s and 1960s in particular. Countries like India, Mexico, and elsewhere were major epicenters of this revolution. And what it essentially did was it tied the introduction of new seed varieties to fossil fuel inputs, in particular synthetic fertilizers, as well as pesticides, and of course the mechanization of farm work itself, irrigation and so forth, that depended also on these fuel imports, fossil fuel inputs as well. So this kind of transformation brought with it enormous social and ecological costs that have been documented very well by those who study the Green Revolution. But it has done something actually much more fundamental, which is being illustrated in this current war, is that it tied food systems to fossil fuel inputs. It really closely tied the way that we do agriculture with these basic fossil fuel chemicals as well as energy sources. So
I'm gonna start right there, because I'm almost an hour in. Let me get the. Hey, if you want to watch the rest of the video, there go the title of the video, there go the channel. I threw another video in. Yep, it's only 12 minutes long, but I've been making I'm just so much going on, man. There's so much news going on. I can't help it, man. I'm like, I just keep adding more videos in, and then plus I keep talking a lot. Let's get to the next one.
The nation's winter wheat crop is limping towards the finish line. I'm Haley Bickelpop. Drought and freezing temperatures taking a big bite out of crop conditions ahead of harvest. According to the latest crop progress report, the nation's winter wheat crop is only 30% good to excellent. Now last year, it was at 45%. Another third of the crop this year is called poor to very poor. And Michelle Rook has been looking into current conditions. Michelle, are these some of the worst crop conditions that we've seen in several years?
Yeah, that's right, and it's mainly due to the fact that 68% of the nation's winter wheat acres are in some level of drought. Now, hard red winter wheat, though, in particular, face ice and harsh temperatures over the winter, and just this weekend another frost event. So conditions will drop further next week, leaving a crop that's rivaling the disaster in 2023. The nation's winter wheat crop ratings dropped 4% this last week. At 30% good to excellent, it's already the 5th worst in history, largely due to expanding drought over the winter.
We had a lot of optimism when this crop went in the ground in the fall. It got up and established. It looked pretty promising. It just couldn't get Mother Nature to cooperate with rain.
And he says the rating is being held up by a better soft red and white winter wheat crop.
If you break out that hard red winter wheat portion, especially the southern plains to Nebraska, Colorado, on down to Texas, you're looking at a hard red winter wheat number on that good to excellent rating.
I just realized this is back to American news of farming. The other one was global, but anyway, just back and forth shit. Anyway.
At a below 15%, which is rivaling that very drought-devastated crop that we had in 2023, unfortunately.
Those ratings don't take into account the freeze event over the weekend from South Dakota down to the Texas Panhandle.
Temperatures did drop into the teens and 20s across parts of Nebraska and northeast Colorado, as well as northwestern Kansas, and that's the area where in mid-March, we fell below zero with no snow on the ground for 3 days. That was the case. And so we were suspicious that maybe we injured the crop.
There's rain in the forecast, but wheat in many areas of the HRW belt is ahead of normal, and so it may come too late to help.
So there will be some relief coming up, but it's almost May, and we're going to start reproducing that crop pretty soon. So it's going to be really difficult to get those yields back up to where they ought to be.
Poor to very poor ratings stand at 55% for Texas and Nebraska, 45% for Oklahoma, and 41% for Kansas, indicating there will be some abandonment. Kansas could rival 2023 when 30% of the acres were not harvested.
Historically, abandonment for the state of Kansas is somewhere between that 5 to 6%. I would say we're probably going to be closer to that 10 to 15% abandonment.
And yields will also be down in HRW areas, including Kansas.
Year-on-year total production of hard red winter wheat in the state of Kansas down, I would guess somewhere between 20 to 25%.
So a near disaster for the nation's top wheat producer and much of the hard red winter wheat belt. I'm Michelle Rourke reporting for Ag Day.
Yep. Egypt shall mourn. And found day, hey man. Let me get back to that scripture again. The plague and punishment that God Yahweh shall bring upon it. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, a miracle, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, a miracle. And the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting in hell and for fearful constellation. Yeah, for natural disasters, droughts, all kind of stuff, wildfires, storms and such. Yeah, tornadoes, and with fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. I better take this serious, because the Lord is about to turn it up a notch.
Hey, Georgia.
Or two notches or three. Shit, yeah.
Moving on, extreme heat is threatening global food systems, with farmers unable to work outdoors, livestock under stress, and crop yields falling. The United Nations has warned this has put livelihoods of over 1 billion people at risk. Experts said food supply in some areas was being pushed to the brink by increasingly common and severe heat waves on land and at sea. Moreover, a joint report by the Food and Agricultural Organization and the World Meteorological Organization estimates extreme heat is already causing 500 billion work hours to be lost each year. So much so that farmers could find it impossible to work safely for as many as 250 days of the year in regions already facing extreme heat, including much of India and South Asia, tropical sub-Saharan Africa, and swathes of Central and South America. Extreme heat is also killing livestock, cutting dairy yields, and making pigs and chickens fall sick. Not just on land, heat waves in the oceans are suffocating fish by reducing...
The planet is mourning. Shit, the planet is mourning because we got wicked rulers in the world, but at the same time, the Lord is plaguing this wicked world, these proud-ass people, kicking their ass. And I just pray the Lord give you the strength. You better pray the Lord give you the strength to endure these times.
The level of dissolved oxygen in the water, which is driving sharp population drops. What possibly is the way out? Well, according
that's the only way out. It's through Yahweh Shema Shah.
To the joint report, heat waves are often predictable, which
not through this damn devil Esau.
means early warnings and smart technology can help farmers act before disaster hits.
Right. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna play this video, but I was like, nah. Let me see if I can. Try to move that video out of here. I ain't gonna talk about it. I need to go ahead and get done with this video. Instead of talking about fast food collapsing. Let's see what's going on in Georgia. Oh, before I do, let me get to this. Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 16. Well, when I shall send upon them evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction. Hold on. Okay. I got you. Alright, I got you. Alright. Bye-bye. Anyway. which I will send to destroy you, and will break and increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So that's what the Lord's going to do. He breaking the support of the food supply and the logistics, delivery, and all that other stuff, and fertilizer and livestock too. Yeah, and plus he's using Esau to do so. Using the #1 nigger in the world, Esau, and he gonna get fucked up by his own demise, dumb nigga. Anyway, next video. See what's going on in Georgia. Wildfires.
Good evening. As we come on the air, wildfire is streaking across southern Georgia tonight, exploding in size and moving so quickly some residents say they had no warnings, no alerts. The flames have destroyed nearly 50 homes as of this hour, and 1,000 more are now under threat. The smoke and fire visible from space, driven by the driest conditions anywhere in the southeast in about a decade.
They seen in space. I probably shot a freaking laser down from a satellite to hit them. Yeah. I'm just guessing. I'm just, you know.
CBS News correspondent Skyler Henry has made his way into the fire zone for us tonight, just over an hour south of Savannah. Skyler, good evening to you. What are you seeing?
Hey, Tony, good evening to you. What we are seeing in Waynesville is devastation, stretch after stretch, leveled because of this wildfire. We believe this was a mobile home area here that has been leveled, now covered in ash because of the fire. Embers are still smoking. You can see everything from burnt bicycles to an above-ground pool that's been destroyed, even a swing set. And firefighters say they are still struggling to contain this fire.
We got 2 houses. In southeast Georgia, massive wildfires have transformed the sky into a fiery orange.
It's gone.
Burning through homes and neighborhoods.
This fire's became a lot larger than we thought it would be. We've got resources that have come from all over South Georgia.
Nearly 100 firefighters are battling the Pineland Road fire, which has exploded to more.
They're gonna probably put a data center out in this area. I don't know. Or they found some natural resources or something. They trying to push people out. I don't know.
More than 16,000 acres, and is only 10% contained. About 65 miles away in Brantley County, at least 48 homes have been lost, and an estimated 1,000 homes are currently threatened.
These winds may shift rapidly, which will create unpredictable fire behavior, so just stay alert, and for the public, be prepared to evacuate immediately.
High winds and extreme drought conditions have sparked dozens of new fires over the last few days, forcing some families from their homes.
We were scared.
13-year-old Eric Perez and his family are taking shelter at a church in Nahunta.
I heard on the news with my mom that yesterday was like 5,000 acres, so we were like, we have to go, like, now.
Across the border in Florida, wildfires in 2 counties merged, burning more than 4,000 acres and stranding hundreds of Amtrak passengers on several trains that were stopped for more than 20 hours.
You can see the shell of a car behind me. As a result of that state of emergency order, Tony, the Georgia National Guard is sending about 150 troops down here over the course of the next several days to try to help both on the ground and in the air to try to help with this fire altogether. More help actually could be on the way as well. Forecasters say that rain could be coming as soon as Saturday, and officials say that that could actually help reduce this massively spreading fire. Tony.
Skyler Henry with the difficult pictures out of Georgia tonight. Skyler, thank you very much. Meteorologist Rob Marciano is watching this.
I don't want to see no radars. I do not want to see no radars. Let's see what else we got.
Team News.
Breaking at noon, wildfires are tearing through South Georgia, scorching tens of thousands of acres and forcing families from their homes. Officials will give an update on the fight to contain those flames later this afternoon with help from state and federal crews, including support following a state of emergency declared by Brian Kemp. I'm Syria Sandlin. Atlanta News First anchor Victor Williams is live at an evacuation site in Brantley County.
How dry that damn grass is.
So, Victor, what is the situation looking like right now?
Well, as of right now, we want to show you guys some video of what it looked like this morning with all of that haze and smoke out there because of these wildfires. Unfortunately, we have seen a lot of that right here in Brantley County because that's where those flames are definitely coming from. But a lot of people have been evacuated. We have been trying our best to talk to people and trying to get their side of the situation. You can imagine what it's like for them being told they have to leave because of the danger out here of this wildfire or multiple wildfires spreading. The wind was a big factor carrying the flames over, so that's one reason why first responders, unfortunately, yesterday were not able to get ahead of those flames. The good thing, at least at this point, is that there have been no fatalities or injuries reported, so that lets you know how serious of a matter this was for people, especially trying to find safe ground with the uncertainty that is still there. Now, we were able to speak to one person who had to grab his wife, who had to go immediately because of the danger.
we've been worried for the past few days, everything going on, trying to get animals and children and all that rounded up and safe. Right now we've got several of my neighbors, my wife, my mother-in-law, all of them staying at my mom's house on the other side of town.
And once again, there are many evacuation sites right now in Brantley County, many churches or community centers where people are able to get away from. But once again, we're going to try our best. Several people as this community tries to recover from this situation. The good thing I will say at least about this is the fact that a lot of people during these times have been able to come together and look out for one another. For now, we are reporting live in Brantley County. Victor Williams, Atlanta News First.
Victor, it's...
Yep, you can clearly see the Lord's visiting this place from breaking the staff of bread, jacking up y'all economy. You can't afford food, but that's ultimately, hey, that's the Lord plaguing this place, breaking down, breaking the the pride of you people, humbling you people down, using Esau to do so, and starting these fires. And I know these wildfires in Georgia ain't the only fire that's going on. I don't know. I ain't gonna keep up on what's going on around the country, but you can find that out yourself. Let me read some. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6. And let me see. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Look at this last one, then I need to wrap up. But dang on, I be always making long videos. I can't help it. I guess the spirit be on me to make long videos.
The only hope for the world right now is the American people, because the people in charge, the elite.
The hope in the American people ain't no hope in them niggas. Them niggas are too damn stupid.
They've colonized so many different parts of the world. Like China is a colony of the elite, of the national elite. People don't recognize this, but China is very subservient to the global elite. Europe, Canada. So the best hope for the world is the American people recognize what's happening and they resist.
Well, the only way to kind of save Western civilization, or the world right now, is for the American people to wake up to this.
Western civilization being saved? No, this bitch need to be destroyed. It's too filled with faggot gay shit and all the other abominations and such. And now the rest of the world has been poisoned by it. Shit. Anyway.
Right? And yes. do you think they will, or what do you think? What does history tell us?
So it ain't about what history gonna tell you. It's about what the prophets of Yahweh Shem Al-Shah tell you through the scriptures and through Yahweh Shem Al-Shah. Well, ultimately through Yahweh Shem Al-Shah. Shit. Yeah, this place got to go. There ain't no saving America. And what did it say in the title? Here's the only thing that can stop World War III. The only thing that can stop World War III is nuclear warheads. From Yahweh Shem Al-Shah. That's what's going to stop World War III. That's going to be the end of all wars. Shit, when the Lord returns, when Yahweh Shah returns, gather up his elect, then World War III going to end when the nukes hit and the chariots rain fire. Yeah. And save the world? Get the fuck out of here. Mr. Jing Jung, you a dumbass.
The only hope for the world right now is
this nigga right here.
American people, because
no. How you gonna save something that's meant to be destroyed? Shit, it's prophecy.
The people in charge, the elite, they've colonized.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a brother gonna come out with have a video about this shit.
So many different parts of the world. Like China is a colony of the elite, of the national elite. People don't recognize this, but China is very subservient to the global elite.
Yeah, these niggas wearing suits and ties, and they're not wearing that ancient garments like the Chinese ancient garments. Let's see what they look like. You watch kung fu movies. They wear those garments as long. Let me see. I don't know how to spell. I can't remember how you spell Chinese. Chinese ancient garments. Yeah, they got the Chinese ancient garments. You got the women, they dress all sexy with their garments. The men get looking like they dressed up like, well, I won't say warriors, but they just look kind of warrior-like. Yeah, like you about to go and get in a, I don't know. Shit. What was it? Yeah, he looked like a damn pimp or something. I don't know. I don't know about this, but anyway, you got people dressing up this way. The women in dresses, they look nice. Handcraft in silk. I think that's silk. Yeah, the women looking nice and they're nice in their clothes. You know, they ain't dressed like that no more. They bitches wearing coochie cutters now. Them bitches wearing coochie cutters now. Yep. And now, since Esau came along, now the Chinese women dressing up like super freaks. But and they talking about ancient garments. Let me see what the dudes dress. They like that. You know. Anyway. Yeah, anyway.
Europe, Canada. So
that
that's
shows you they ass has been conquered by so-called white man. They wearing suits and ties and shit and all kind of crap. Western way, dressing like a Westerner.
the world is the American people.
That's the damn whole world is like that, dressing up like Esau, because they see where the power comes from. But now that power is fading away. Shit, and soon I don't know how these people gonna be dressing when we're in power and rulership, but I know they're gonna be dressing like they got good sense, especially the women.
People recognize what's happening and they resist. And quite honestly, there's one movement in America right now that has the most promise, and that's MAGA.
What? I thought what? MAGA? MAGA gonna be magma when the lava hits their ass. When the nukes hit them motherfucking America, that magma gonna burn MAGA. Shit, kill them motherfuckers. They gonna be backstroking MAGA. Gonna be backstroking in magma, lava and shit. Talk about MAGA is the only help. Man, nigga, man, please. More shit. What is it? MAGA stand for? It's witchcraft. Yeah, it's some. I forgot what it meant. Something about some witchcraft shit. That shit ain't gonna help America save America. Shit.
Right, so Tucker Carlson were to run for president of the United States,
crazy,
and MAGA were to fully unify behind him, and I think there's hope for the world.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it MAGA because
and I want to say there's hope for the world if America be no. Anyway, let me just end this video because I ain't gonna play no more of this rubbish. It's absolute garbage, and I know there's gonna be some brothers talk about this shit. It's comical, man. This is some comical shit right here. But this is what the heathens believe, man. Why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? Hell, this is vain, man. This not gonna happen. It's like, huh? You thinking this motherfucker gonna exist? Every empire, did he even say it himself? Every empire falls, right? I think he did a video about empires falling. Well, America's one of them, and America ain't just gonna fall. It's gonna be destroyed by nuclear fire and fire for the chariots. Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Talking about you Israelites, and he talking about America. We want you Israelites to flee out of the midst of America and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity of sin, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense, payback. Babylon, America, once again has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken over wine, therefore the nations are mad, and they're mad because they took it in philosophies of America, and now they goddamn, like I was saying, the women, like say China, they dressed all in their dainty garments and shit. Now they dressing up like a whore, shit. And all the other nations, they somewhat dressing up like whores too, and shit. And they going mad, going crazy. Yep. Babylon, America is suddenly fallen and destroyed. What that sound like? America's being destroyed. Hound for her, take bomb for her pain, so she may be healed. There's no healing in America. We would have healed Babylon or America, but she is not healed. Forsake her. See, she can't be healed. America can't be healed. No, the Lord don't want to heal this place. There's no saving this place. Ain't gonna be no MAGA. Ain't gonna be none of that bullshit that's gonna save this place. And the Lord gonna burn it, destroy it. And let us go everyone into his own country. And people are already leaving out of here too. From people that's not born here, they're going to their homeland, leaving out of America. And you got born and raised American Babylonians are leaving out of their own country to go somewhere else where it's cheaper, more affordable, and less dangerous. But that dangerous part and cheaper part, it's going to creep up on y'all. It's going to catch y'all by surprise. And y'all going to be like, oh shit. It's just like America. Yeah, inflation gonna be everywhere and danger gonna be everywhere. And the chip implant gonna be everywhere with judgment too. Shit. You can't run away from all this. No. And Bible prophecy, you can't overwrite Bible prophecy either. Talking about saving America. Get the fuck out of here. For her judgment reaches onto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. So America is going to die. It's already dying financially, militarily, and all that other shit. Morally, well, spiritually, America, the spirit of America is dying. Ain't no damn God bless America. Fuck that shit. That shit's dead, man. And you gonna be dead if you got that in your heart and your mind. That's why the Lord said, depart from this place. Or what's another way of saying what I said earlier? Oh yeah, flee out of the midst of Babylon. And ain't talking about physically leave, talking about spiritually, mentally leave out of America. Say fuck this place and let it be destroyed. Shoot, there ain't no saving. And these heathens don't understand the Lord has a bone to pick with America, Babylon the Great. And y'all should, you Israelites should be feeling the same way too. So anyway, man, all I can tell you is seek Yahweh Shema Shah by seeking his prophets and take heed of what to say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order with Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and bless to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.